Hello everybody and welcome to another Peteman Reviews. Today we have Powermaster Optimus Prime with the Apex Armour, sometimes known as Gaia Armour. And as you can see from the short smokestacks and the slight different coloration, this is the Commemorative Anniversary Edition. Another thing to point out with Commemorative release, this section of Prime's cab seems to be metal. I don't remember it as being metal when I was a kid. But it's entirely possible my memories have faded in the intervening years. However, it feels really good, it looks really good, and it's got a very nice touch to it as well. It's unusual to have a metal cab part, I feel. I never had Optimus Prime before with the Apex Armour element of it, so on here it forms quite a nice additional tractor. Well, it's not really a tractor, it's kind of just an additional part to it. As you can see, he runs along very well and looks very good in this mode. Obviously you come with the Powermaster high test, all the various guns for the Powermaster element of Optimus Prime, as well as the other element which has a huge missile on it. This might be an oversized missile, I don't really know because I didn't have it originally, so I couldn't tell you on that. But in terms of how it looks, it's really good. It's got great flexibility as well with the joints, and this part bends as well. To enable him to turn corners and things. So it looks really good as well. So the colours, particularly around these guns here, are a little bit darker than what I remember them being originally, but I acknowledge that could just be my memories fading. So in terms of transforming, Prime has various. He's effectively a triple changer. One could argue with the Apex Armour he might even be a quadruple changer, but certainly the base element, the core of him, is triple changer. So to begin with, I'm going to change the trailer section first into a base mode. Now for this armour part, it actually connects here, so what I find easiest for this is to flip the cab up, flip those out, and then you can tie that part, and as you can see, these parts here actually slide into the gaps here. That's the only practical reason I can think for having gaps, other than perhaps it's cheaper to make. So we'll begin with transforming the trailer. Now this transforms into battle station mode, so remove all the guns and missiles. You don't have to, but it's a bit easier to change. Flaps go down, this goes up like that. Just move that out of the way. And it sits like that, so it comes down to make a ramp. These flap down as well to make more ramps. And then the gun, that comes out there to produce what's just about a gun. It's not quite really, but it kind of works. You've then got these weapons that go on there. Fold up like that, fold up like that. You don't have to do that, you can leave them as they are, but I find it looks a bit better if you fold them up. And then you have the big weapons there. So that's the base mode element of Prime's trailer. Actual Prime himself. Now, to transform him, because he's a Powermaster, he has the transforming gimmick. So, as you can see, this all slots in. If you ever lose your Nebulon, this white bit here is the actual unlocking gimmick. You press it in, and the legs unlock, which has got this little ratchet here. There, and if you don't have the Powermaster in, it won't transform, but as I say, you can press that button there. So, very simple transformation here. Feet go down, arms out, arms down, this bit folds down, head folds up. There we have Optimus Prime in normal mode. As for high test, flip him around like that and you can see the little Nebulon. Again, the colours feel a little bit darker than they did when they originally came out. That might just be me not failing to remember. His arms do move up and down a bit, but that's about it for manoeuvrability. But high test quite cool. As for, excuse me, I've a bit of a cough at the moment. As you can see with Optimus Prime, we'll just zoom in a little bit on there. He does look good. He is far more like the Optimus Prime that we see in cartoons and things, because obviously now they've had a chance to model him more. His manoeuvrability is pretty wimpy. That is it. Arms go up, arms go down, and even then they only hinge. It's only the bottom part of his arm that moves. He doesn't even have any movement up here. It gets worse than that, unfortunately. While Prime can hold his gun, it's so large, that's as far as he can actually shoot. So if he's shooting at someone on the ground, such as high test, you're fine, but, sorry, high Q even, then you're fine. But if someone's standing about this height, Prime's useless with that. It gets no better. He can hold the weapon at least, but it gets even worse if you give him a missile cannon. Because of the size of it, you can't lift that at all, so the missile cannon just doesn't work at all. So this version of Prime, it's kind of just a given that you don't really use this. I guess they included it because it's a reference point to that Prime. But it's interesting, even if you go into the comics, this version of Prime is used maybe once or twice, and then after he always combines it to Powermaster mode. So compared with the original Prime, he's taller, not really any more detailed because all the detailing, with the exception of this grille here, is achieved by stickers. I know there's this side which is considerably more detailed, and it's a shame that could be used. I mean, this side is the same level of detail here, even complete, if we zoom in, to the little rivets there and there. So that's actually really nice. Unfortunately, when he transforms into robot mode, we lose all that with the rather bland stickers on this side. So compared to this version of Prime, I know Prime can only move his like that, but he can also move his arms up, and that means he can ratchet out. He can even twist his arms. He can only go hello. So that's a bit of a loss. But perhaps we're being a bit unfair here, because if you compare Prime with his other Powermaster companions, such as Dreadwing here, and Darkwing, this is Dreadwing, who is Byron to high test, which is where I'll get a bit confused. These guys have the same really limited movement. I mean, Dreadwing, actually, to be fair, Dreadwing's movement is considerably more. He can't, if he goes out like that, he can do, but he's not meant to, because it takes the whole shoulder away. But that's quite decent movement. As for Darkwing, similar. So those guys actually have significantly better arm movement. Legs, of course, don't really do anything much. I mean, you wouldn't really expect a movement that way, would you? I know Soundwave did before, but that's just wrong. So their arms are considerably better movement than Prime. He could do that, and he could have a weapon that points up, except his gun's too big for his arm, so it doesn't do that. Never mind. And because it's a totally unfair comparison as well, we'll just stick Masterpiece Convoy there. It is a totally unfair comparison, although one nice little point, if we zoom in, Masterpiece Convoy, you notice, has got his little rivets here as well, so they're exactly the same as the little rivets here. So it's nice to see that detail has travelled through on various different versions of Prime. So that's mode 1 of Optimus Prime. So he's a triple changer, effectively a quadruple changer. While we're here, we'll just transform the armour here, because the armour is triple changer as well. So this is mode 1. Mode 2, it does actually change into a robot. It's very simplistic, it all just falls apart, pops in, it's fine. In fact, it pulls apart so much that if you don't do it carefully, it all falls on the floor like this. Never mind, it's all robust plastic, I hope. Okay, it's all fine. So these parts are the legs and feet of, I think they call him God Bomber. It doesn't really have a separate entity, but whatever, for the sake of this. So you want to just rotate the arm up, rotate that arm like that. His head, back here, ta-da. Arms, you can see these are arms, they do just slot into their very, very basic shape. Same again here, you see you've got a slot there. Very, very basic. The back of the armour plate here actually weirdly becomes his back. So it just slots, so you can see here, what I'm doing is I'm just slotting these in. I say weirdly because, well, it just looks weird. It effectively means he's got two fronts. So what I'm doing, you can just see there's the hole, probably can't see, maybe up. You see, just see there's a hole there and that just slots into there. Effectively means he's got a front there and a front there. Just looks odd, but never mind. And then his feet slot into there. You notice the sticker annoyingly goes right over the hole, so you then have to make the hole again. That annoyed me no end, I can tell you, because eventually that will just pop off. It will just start to damage the sticker, so I don't transform God Bomber very often because, as I say, it will eventually damage it. And there we are, God Bomber. He can hold his gun up here, he can hold it further down. I think it looks a bit better like that. He's tall, he's a bit of a non-entity, he falls apart very, very easily. Nevertheless, it is a mode. Like Prime, he can move his arm like that if it stays on. He can move his arms up the whole way, but I think I've got these on back to front. Yeah, I've got his arms on back to front because the shiny's got that side in there, but never mind. He's a bit of a non-entity, to be perfectly honest, so we'll just pop him to one side. Now, this is the business end of Prime, the bit that everybody bought him for. It's not the base, it's not this guy, it's the Powermaster mode. By far the mode that looks best. So you take the guns away, that flips up, this now flips down like that, go in, up, you might have to move the arms up like that to get that around, turn it round, and now the feet slide in, so you now have legs suddenly appear, or no, not suddenly appear, that flips down on the ratchet, that flips down like that. Your Optimus Prime, you just mostly transform back to how he was. So he's now back in truck mode or cam mode. That then rotates up, so that's really, really simple, and slides in like that. If you had Ultra Magnus, it's a very similar transforming mode. Prime then comes with a new head. Luckily, this does stow away in the rear section of his trailer when you have him in a truck mode, so you're less likely to lose him, this at least. Goes on like that. His guns, which now suddenly feel like the right size. On Prime they were just ridiculously sized. Now they're the right size. And there we have it. Powermaster Prime, just to complete the process. He doesn't need to go in. Is high Q. And the only reason is he just looks a little bit more menacing. And there we go. Powermaster Prime. In Powermaster mode. It's a really good looking robot. Manoeuvrability, he can waggle his arms up and down. I guess that's better than he could before. He's got no elbow joints. He is basically a brick. He has no elbow joints. He has no arm joints or anything. Compare him to Dreadwind and Darkwing. Again, so his opposition at the time. He's quite a bit taller. You would expect that. He is meant to be the ultimate Transformer or the ultimate Autobot. Notably, again, somewhat limited movement compared to these guys. Obviously, if you've seen these guys before, you know that they combine together in jet mode, but in robot mode, Powermaster Prime is by far the best of them. Original Optimus Prime, just for a high comparison, and just for fun again, Convoy, Masterpiece Optimus Prime, taller, curiously enough, than Powermaster Prime. Maybe Powermaster Prime's head, I don't know, it's about level, isn't it? And obviously with the stacks, the smokestacks on Convoy's armour, he's actually slightly taller, so there we are. And of course Convoy can do something that Powermaster Prime can't. In fact, all the other Primes could. Powermaster does not have any elbow joints at all, which is a real shame, really. Given that they've gone to all the effort with the gimmicks around being a Powermaster and all the combining, the fact that he's got so limited articulation does let him down quite badly. Never mind. Now this guy has one more trick left, which is why I say perhaps he could really be considered a quadruple changer. You see the feet of the God Bomber here, or the Apex Armour. This all combines again, one last time. So put the arms back in, and then these arms then, so where we put the missile, the arms then now flip onto there to give Prime huge arms. These, just flip the feet back in, flip the feet back in. These actually become Prime's new feet. You can just see on here, there we are, these look a little bit like feet. Only a little bit, but that's enough for Prime to, I should be putting these on the right way around. It's always a little bit unsure as to which way round sometimes these go. There we are. So he actually stands on them, so you've got a lot of wheels. So what I've done is, you see that, so you've got a little hook there, hook on the back, like that. He's now wearing platforms essentially. with numerous extra wheels. So he's now, he's basically Platform Prime. Front of the armour, you can keep high Q on there. It doesn't need to come off. This just slides on. It doesn't join at all. It just slides. It's held in by friction and by the way it's moulded. This is a little bit. There's not really anywhere to put it, but never mind. Creates a bigger, very shiny, very much of a bling chest on here. As for the back of Prime, so you got your God Bomber. Flips away. You no longer have your God Bomber head. This flips up here, slots on here, slots on there, you know the drill, back down there. Now the reason for doing this is all about jets. In this mode, Prime can now fly. He now has wings. They're fairly feeble looking wings, it has to be said, but he does have wings. His guns could effectively now become engines. I have a feeling I probably need to put the wings the other way round. I've only transformed it like this a few times since I saw it. So there we are. Because the reason why it looks a little bit odd is because the shiny bit with the labels. Can you see that from there? At this side, the guns then go this side. Hands up who saw that one coming. I certainly did. Never mind. It's easily done. The connections are a little bit on the loose side. Probably a bit late in the day to be saying that, but the connections are a little bit on the loose side. There we go. I think this is just because, again, being a commemorative edition, it's not been used an awful lot. It's still not particularly that old. It's spent a lot of time just sat there. And as good as the God Armour is, Apex Armour, it is a little bit tacked on. There we go. You probably can't see that because it's tall, but there we are. Give him his guns there. The missiles, they do have a home, and that home is to fit down here. So you see there's a hole there, fits in there. Same again here, fits in there. And his gun. Now he can hold it, he can sit on here. I tend to, if you've got the other guns on there, I have him hold it. Otherwise I would have sent elsewhere. So it's huge. Apex Armour Prime. It's taken a lot of time to review this, so thank you for keeping up with me on this. It looks good. I do like the shininess. The chrome I think works very, very well on it. It's a bulky, it's a tall robot. It's one of the tallest robots. This bit annoys me. It just looks, it's dangling. You don't like things that dangle, so you just have to put it perhaps like that. But it's very big. He is wearing platforms. If we just see a side view, massive. Everything about this guy is huge. He looks actually, with the guns there, that looks really quite good. Again, his chest is huge. He's got a huge back. Guns on the top there. You know, you can see how that was his missile coming off. Again, all the slots are a little bit tight, but you can see how this would work. What they're thinking is, when he's flying, he's now got guns that fire where he's going. Effectively, they could also act as engines, I guess, but they're more guns. Size-wise, we'll just bring out Darkwing this time. Poor little guy. He looks tiny. He is tiny compared to Powermaster Prime with the Apex Armour, but it's tiny. Look, Prime's feet are now the same size as Darkwing's legs. You know, that's just how much of a difference it's made. You remember previously we had this guy, Convoy, and how he was slightly taller than Powermaster Prime. He's not anymore. That is purely the difference of putting on the feet, and he's just absolutely dwarfed by him. What I would like to see at some point is a masterpiece version of this. You know, a masterpiece version of Powermaster Prime with Apex Armour. This kind of size, but with this kind of detail and this kind of articulation, that would be brilliant. probably would need to be bigger, to be honest, because you think how tall he is by himself. Maybe even Titan size. But if they could release Powermaster Prime with Apex Armour, that would just be brilliant. The size of it, the detail of it, because even with all these the tricks, the upgrades and that, ultimately, all you've still got is a guy who can do that. And throw his gun away and his arm cover pops off. Again, you see the connections on here, they work, but they only just about work. That kind of lets it down a little bit. That's a little bit of build quality, but I can kind of live with that because he's really just for standing there. That's all he can do. I really wish his posability was much more. That said, is it a good toy? Yes, it's a great toy. Okay, he can't pose, he can't really do anything but that, but he looks great. The fact that he is a triple changer, a quadruple changer, you could ask, is really useful. I remember as a kid I spent a lot of time with him in base mode because it worked really well and it interacted with the other toys well. You could get all your little cars and they could fit nicely on the little pads and then launch off, and the guns, it was great. Powermaster mode, I think perhaps it spends less time in Powermaster mode because it's so limited with what you can do with him. And that's true of Prime in his small mode. There's so limited movement. He does look great. I just wish they gave him more manoeuvrability. Is it a good toy to get? Well, it's Optimus Prime. You can't not. I only have 3 versions of Prime. I know some people who've got considerably more. Powermaster Prime is definitely worth having. Yes, it's a gimmick, more gimmicky than actual manoeuvrability, but that's how toys were then. Say Dreadwing and Darkwing don't have much manoeuvrability. Think about the Pretenders. You know, the Shells couldn't do very much either. They could move their arms up and they could move their arms down, like our Powermaster here. Its manoeuvrability back then just didn't seem to exist as much. Now it does, and this is why I'd like to see this guy re-released as a Masterpiece Edition. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Please do leave any comments below, click on the other links, and we'll see you for the next video. Thank you, goodbye.